Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to United View. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to another morning view. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, because I have to say, we have let it slip. I'm going to be honest, community. I'm going to be honest. The last few shows, or last week or so, it's been a mixture of me kind of forgetting to have that real push and taking my eye off the ball a little bit, and a mixture of you guys just being lazy and disgracing cheats.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're coming out fighting this morning, aren't you? Wow.
Yeah.
Disgraceful.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgraceful.
Absolutely disgraceful. Yeah.
Yeah.
The mods have been on it, but actually, to be fair, if I hold my hands up, there's been such big topics and so much things to talk about. I've let the bag slip as well. So I want to get back into the habit of reminding you guys again. You know what I mean? Take your shoes. What was it? Before you come in, take your shoes off.
Take your shoes off, settle down. You know what I mean? You don't go rifling through the fridge straight away, do you? You shake hands, you say hello, you give hugs. That's what you do. You go, how's it going?
It's the ingredients.
You ask how you are first, don't you? Before you go, what's for dinner? And straight in. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Big up Flex and Owen and UV fam, says Javid. Hit those likes early, says Nikhil. Do what he says. Garsha says morning from Cambridge. Toby says evening, living in Australia. Did I say good evening? Welcome to the United View. I don't think I did. I'm sure I said good morning, but yeah,
I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. And I watch from New Zealand, says Nikhil. And Tabrez with the first super chat of the day. Big up to you, Tabrez, as always, my guy. Says morning, Reds. How's everyone winter arc going?
Oh, it's cold.
How's winter arc going? Yeah.
Oh, it is cold.
It is very cold.
It is very, very cold. But I like it. I like this time of year. I'm a winter guy, Fleck. I'm a winter guy. The only thing I don't like about the winter is just it gets dark early, doesn't it? Like yesterday, I kind of realized that when it gets to like 4:30 and you go, it's pitch black outside.
Yeah, coming back from work or I'm coming back from wherever what we're doing, and it literally even from like if the day's cloudy and grey anyway, even from like 3 onwards, it's just gloomy.
I mean, sometimes like you have the thing in the morning where it doesn't get bright till midday.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that light's on all day. Yeah. And you're like, well, this is a bit of a pain. Weather view, seasonal view.
The weather view.
The weather is what we've kicked off with.
The weather. Right, but we got a lot to talk about. We got to talk about Marcus Rashford again. I mean, I did say I did have my say on it yesterday. There has been a few more reports since then, as these things usually tend to happen. Everyone's been having their say. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, because we spoke about this ruthlessness that needs to be shown towards players, and then the next day we get these reports about Marcus Rashford. Apparently, Marcus Rashford, Dan Ashworth replacement, probably not going to happen, mate. They're going to sort of, consume it between Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox. We'll talk about that. And United's Leon. Is that how we say it? Leon?
I think
Leon?
so. I think so,
I think Leon's safe, innit? Apparently, we're in talks for a 17-year-old left wing back or left full back, whatever you want to call him, and trying to get him in. So, yeah, a lot to talk about. Also, someone just said there, which I haven't seen. Don't know if you have, Owen. Someone said, are you going to talk about Stephen Howson's Garnacho video? Don't know if
I haven't seen it.
He's done a big video.
I sound very Arsene Wenger there, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I didn't see. But yes, and already we have the famous 100 likes in the bag already in the first couple of minutes of the show. So big up to each and every one of you. And also, whilst Owen's doing the sort of reporting, if you see me sort of like this, it's just watermelon. I'll be on mute. I'm just keeping the 5 days going.
Breakfast for you. It's like Sunday supplement, old school.
Old school, and mate. As long as you mute yourself, you're not chomping in people's ears. I think it's all right. We got to eat. We got to stay hydrated, guys.
Exactly. It's your channel, Flex. You can do what you want. Rashford. Marcus Rashford. Let's talk about Marcus Rashford. So, Flex, as you mentioned, kind of covered this a little bit yesterday. Well, with a Flex's view about this specific report from Florian Plettenberg, saying that Manchester United would sell Marcus Rashford at latest by the summer and would already be open to top offers in the winter. The club acknowledge his development under Ruben Amorim, but consider him definitely not unsellable. One reason why a sale is being discussed, if he were to leave the club due to his very high salary, it would free up critical points in the complicated financial fair play system, of course, PSR, which in turn would give Manchester United more room to maneuver in the transfer market. Of course, he's an academy homegrown player, so it'd be pure profit, and obviously he's on a large wage too. So Flex kind of spoke about that yesterday, but that kind of got the ball rolling, as Flex sort of mentioned, as it always does with this kind of report. And there was quite an interesting piece from Luke Edwards from The Telegraph saying that Manchester United were already open to selling Marcus Rashford last summer, and they remain receptive to these offers. Interestingly, they are said, according to this report, to be concerned about his lifestyle off the pitch, and there are fears he is no longer focused on his football as he could be. As far as possible destinations for Rashford, well, according to Luke Edwards, a move to Saudi Arabia is an option for Rashford, while a transfer to PSG has also been mooted. It's always out there, but I think, PSG have got a very, very different transfer strategy at this point. They were linked to Mo Salah like a week or so ago, and they were like, no, we're not going after him because we're going after French players or young players, which Marcus Rashford does not really fall into that category. It's a difficult one with this, isn't it? Because I think when it comes to his future at Manchester United, I think it's probably as shaky as it's ever been. I think he's not the indispensable figure that he maybe was a couple of years ago. He's not even starting games regularly anymore for United. He's on the bench quite often. So whether Ruben Amorim really fancies him or not, who really knows? And because of the situation,
doesn't finish games often. Doesn't play 90
exactly minutes often, because of the situation that Manchester United do find themselves in with with PSR, excuse me, the acronyms, PSR. It might actually be a legitimate option for them because that's one way. Look at Chelsea. We spoke about the blueprint and what blueprint to follow. Maybe Chelsea's not the best one to follow yesterday, but they have set a precedent in the sense of the way to bail you out of a sticky PSR FFP situation is sell academy players, which of course goes against the ethos of Manchester United and goes against the history. But if it's a player that, isn't living up to his worth on his contract, he's 27 now. And are you going, actually, is he really in his peak or is he inconsistent? And if there are, off the field issues, maybe it's best he gets away from wherever he is at the moment. I don't know. It feels like it might actually be a good thing for all parties at this point, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's what's been, like I said yesterday, that's what's been the overriding feeling for a while. What I've noticed is no matter where you really sit on Rashford, whether you are absolute major mind, some people are really vocal, absolutely awful. I've been saying it for ages. He needs to go. Then there's some people like, it just doesn't feel like he's gonna get back. Like I just can't see it. Then there's, I think there's a player in there, but I don't know. Like it doesn't matter where you are. The gut, the in-depth feeling is like you just know it's done. Like you you can try and invest a few rash coins here and a few maybe this. And I tried Kev coins. I tried to sort of maybe Amorim's coming in if he doesn't show it from now to the end of the season. But the first 5 games already, you can just there doesn't seem much. And that's been with him scoring a few goals. He kicked off the Amorim era, 80 seconds in, 50 seconds in, doing this, and you go, right, I tell you what. But then the rest of that game, there was nothing. Then the next couple of games, there wasn't. Then we played Everton.
Against Everton, got a couple of
then
goals.
Then there was 2 again. And then you're thinking,
it's hope, though, isn't it? It's always hope that something's going to change. And I suppose then it gets into the territory of, well, if we're doing the same things over and over again and expecting different results, then that is insanity. Or that's why, when the Ruben Amorim thing was announced, and it was like we were having those conversations. I think it was one of the episodes of the Trinity or something like that. And Katie was like, but if Amorim's the one that can get something out of Rashford, and I do think he's come into that territory now where you just sort of go, but that sample size is really, really big, and it's not a knock against him. You know what I mean? It's not a knock against him. A lot of the stuff that happens off the pitch, I largely push back on and sort of go like, I don't really care as long as you're performing. But the problem is that not often he's performing enough. That's part of the issue with some of that. When he went to the United States to watch the basketball game, who gives a shit? Like who cares? That was signed off by the club. That's on the club. The media will make a big deal out of it because the media make a big deal out of everything with Manchester United and Manchester United players. And absolutely at points has he been unfairly treated by the press? Sure. No doubt about it. Not hiding that at all. I just think with him over particularly last 18 months, 2 years or so, there's just a lot I think that's gone wrong there. You know what I mean? With people whoever does his like PR strategy, whoever handles that, whoever handles him, you know what I mean? I just think it's quite staggering actually, how often he does something, and I say his people come to a decision that's so
And
like
it's the
tone
wrong.
deaf.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And you just go,
Definitely.
that's the wrong move at this point in time. Like, I always go back to that Players Tribune article. Like,
It's
just
the worst thing to
it
do.
just ages like milk, doesn't it? More and more and more. When you're not having a good season, then you come out and basically say, like, if you doubt me, you know, you'll see. And you go, well, we're not really seeing.
And then since that day, let's be honest, since that day, what have we seen? If we're at obviously like the immediate game after that, he scored in the derby. You know, again, obviously we lost, but he scored.
Yeah,
that's all we've seen. The Belfast thing, out for the game against Newport, I believe, which I believed it should have been longer. Back in for Wolves, scored, didn't he? Yeah.
yes,
the one where he's late on the bus, started on the bench against Wolves again.
Yeah.
Come off the bench at halftime, scored the winner. But these are like, we're clinging on for dear life.
Cherry picking moments here, aren't we? You
yeah,
know what I mean?
And that's what we can't do. Like the real fact of the matter is that is your eye test. Yeah, because what some people do, again, there's a cause for everything you want to make a cause for, right? With stats and things like that. So when people go, well, I'll tell you what, since he came into the team as a kid to now, he's got X amount of GAs. That's the same as what Martial had, or that's the same with all the different managers. And remember under Jose, was he a left winger? Was he a striker? Oh, that remember then Zlatan came and stunted his growth, and then Lukaku came and he couldn't get all these little subplots you want to put in the camp of it was who has been good in this time. No one's been good at man. There's always a little case you can try and paint, but if you just forget all the noise, and look at the player, the development of the player. It's like, nah.
That's what I was just about to say, isn't it?
It's not. It's more than bad form. It's not mismanagement.
I saw that yesterday. People pushing back and showing screen grabs of reports from sort of 2020, 2021 of going remember when he played through because he had stress fractures in his back and he had a bad ankle and I don't doubt for a second that maybe has played a part in sort of stunting development. And maybe when you come in to a team, when did he make his debut? Was he 16 when he came in? Or was he 17?
He was 16, 17.
Around that, when you start that much and you play that football, like you look at people throughout history, sometimes there ain't longevity in that because you play too much and you just, you look at Rooney, look at Owen, there are examples of it. And he's had injuries. And I don't doubt that maybe has stunted part of his development or what have you. But you almost, when you're making a decision about that now, you kind of have to forget that. And you have to go, okay, right. Let's focus on now. If Manchester United had a decision to make and they could offload him and they could get out of a sticky situation when it came to a PSR, FFP point of view, and they could bring in 1, 2, or 3 new players with that money that they feel could better enhance the team.
Or even one who's just really good. And that's the person it should be.
Better enhance the squad. Then it's very difficult to say no to that, isn't it? It's very, very difficult to, and this is a bit of a bigger discussion just about, I suppose, INEOS in general at the moment that I've seen people having, is that we have to be careful what we wish for, and we have to be careful what we ask for and what we want, because we ask for ruthlessness and we ask for cutthroatness, and then we get it and we don't like it because it's ruthless and it's cutthroat.
Cutthroatness.
Yeah, exactly, Flex. But you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Cutthroatness. Hold on. I'm just going to draw the dictionary. Hold on a minute.
It's probably, look, Flex, it's not a word.
It might even be a word.
I don't know.
But cutthroatness.
But my point...
It's like sufferation, that one.
Yeah, my point is that we ask for it. We ask for it. We get it, and then we don't like it because it does make you uncomfortable. But that's by its very nature, isn't it? And it's not... It's a bit like Shay mentions it there in the comment there. It's a bit like with Wan-Bissaka in the summer, wasn't it? Can't let go of Wan-Bissaka. Flex, we can't. We can't do it. We'll all be sorry. And now Mazraoui's in, and we're saying, "Oh, we want 11 of him in the team." Like we do, we do have to kind of wrap our minds. We do have to kind of wrap our minds around, like, there are better players out there, guys. You know what 100%. I mean? And this is when, again, we do talk out both sides of our mouths, because. No to Player FC. No to Player FC. I tell you what, these players, they're criminals. They're shit. We're going to sell one of them. I don't know if we should do that, because maybe what if they become good elsewhere? What if they do something at another club? And it's like, well, what do we want then? Because we're asking for one thing, then we get it, and then we don't like it. So as far as Rashford, look, I don't think he's going to go anywhere in the winter. In the summer,
no.
I mean, the only issue is, and we say this with a lot of players, and Rashford would be no different. If Marcus Rashford doesn't want to go, then he's not going to go. You know,
Yeah,
he
won't. And I think for us as well. Well, I say for us, it's different for us, the fans, but for the club, if I'm really honest, I think there was this reluctancy to move Rashford on because of the what ifs, the maybe, what if, he's come through the academy. What if he does morph into this player we think he's going to? Like, we can't drop the bag on this. Like, we have to keep pursuing. And that's gone now. It's now got to the stage where it isn't about where you sell him to, or strengthening a rival, or this, that, and the other. I know some people couldn't bear it if he went to Arsenal and was good. It's got to the stage where you've been at the club now as a senior pro, obviously since you were 7, but in terms of a senior pro, what are we talking? 8 years? How long's right?
It was 2016 he came in. Yeah, so that's about 8 years.
About 8 years.
Yeah,
pushing a decade, let's just say. Yeah. Pushing 10 years. That is enough sample size, right? And you're now 27, so you're in the peak, or you should be in your peak. That is enough sample size to work out whether you're going to turn into the player that we want you to turn into. That's enough. And if it does work somewhere else, because you just needed somewhere else to flourish, again, let's not see Man United again, another player. He's in the group of players who were saying leopards don't change the spots, survive loads of managers, had loads of different He's not someone who's been in, like, even the Sancho thing. You can go, I know for me 3 years is enough, fine, but you can still go, it's quite short. It's this, that, and the other. 25 million, man, bought him for 70. This is a homegrown player who's been here for nearly 10 years. Like, we've seen it. And not only that, we've invested continually into him. I think he's had 2 new contracts in that time, has he not? 2 big contracts.
Yeah.
So you have to just, like, be at peace with going, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. Like, wish him the best. It hasn't worked. We really, really thought Rashford the man, Rashford the brand, Rashford the player would all align into this perfect product of a player, and it just hasn't. I keep saying that. That's one of my biggest things. The Rashford the brand, the Rashford the player, the Rashford the character, they're not aligned. Like, he's very quiet, he's very introverted, as he explains in his own Players Tribune interview. And I've seen Rashi up. He's very quiet. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. But the brand is not quiet. The brand is pushing this sort of all action, all talking, embracing character. So that doesn't quite match up. And then, of course, when you get the big Nike deals, the big boot deals, the big sponsorships, the big everything, and you don't perform and you're not that guy, people look at you differently.
Well, and it runs into the territory of, remember with Jesse Lingard, when for 10 years he was a young player, and everyone went, well, he's not a young player anymore. And it's the same with Rashford. I think because he's academy player and he came through at a young age, we just go, well, young player, but
you get extra leeway.
He's not a young player anymore. And the whole academy thing, again, we kind of put ourselves in a bit of a difficult position, I suppose, because obviously, look, our bedrock and our history is based off academy players coming through. But then at the same time, if it's an academy player, but actually we don't think they're necessarily good enough, do we just keep them because they're an academy player? Or, you know what I mean?
No, in today's climate, you're supposed to sell him because of PSR.
Where's that limit? Do we, because that's the big pushback, isn't it? Well, one of our own, don't throw one of your own under the bus. But then it's like, well, but if we think that we can, there's other options or other alternatives there that would be better for us, then maybe we should consider that. Why is it just
and he's had that luxury? He's had that one of our own. Keep waiting. That's what I'm talking about. 9 years, mate. We've had a decade of going. He's one of our own. Put your arm around him. He needs a bit of TLC. Just be patient. Be patient. Mank born and bred in all the songs. Like Rashi, that's our guy. We've done it.
Yeah.
Like, we've given him 2 or 3 new contracts in this whole 10 years. So, that we can't be accused of not being patient enough. at
No,
all.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
He's and maybe that's the part of it. Maybe if you're an academy player, you do get afforded more patience than someone who doesn't have that attachment to the club. Which I suppose, look, that's fair enough. But is that limit completely endless? Probably not.
Yeah, that's true. Let's go to the super chats here. Tavares, I read your one out first thing into the show. Joe Fleming, as usual, says, is the 17-year-old left back called Harry Amas? I get what you're saying there, but no, the 17-year-old left back is not called Harry Amas. He's called Diego Leon, isn't he, Owen?
Yes,
I believe. Like Mike says, Garnacho leaking team selections to his brother and creating fake Twitter accounts to diss fellow teammates. Surprised this isn't a bigger story. I don't know. I mean, I've seen some stuff on social media claiming this. And actually, now I'm thinking about it, was Stephen Howson's video about this? I bet it was, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, X says that this happens. I don't know how true this is. I do know that his brother does have a Twitter account. He's quite active on there. I do know that.
Yeah.
And obviously, Garnacho's track record of accidentally liking tweets and then unliking them and liking them again and just doing a few silly things on there because he's just young.
That's problematic.
On there.
That's problematic.
Absolutely. That is problematic. I don't know. I can't sit here and say to you, like Mike, to be fair, unless you got info I don't have, I can't sit here and say he's definitely the one leaking the team. I know there's some rumors that he is. But what we do know is that his account keeps accidentally getting into problems by doing the wrong shit on social media. That I have seen factually with my eyes. And it's not good. It's not good. I will say that. So yeah, if there's any more reports than that, I will look at it. But it does not look good if you accidentally like something, does it? And you've done it a few times. Just put your phone down, bro.
If it's one time, you go, look, it happens. It's a bit like who was it back in the day? Was it the Julian Lescott one with his car? Do you remember that one?
I can't remember that now.
There was something like, I think he was playing for Villa at the time, and he tweeted a picture of his car, and I think the message as if to say, like, look at this, I don't care. And he was like, wow, it was in my pocket, and it got tweeted.
Right.
And everyone's like, it's pretty difficult. Pretty difficult.
And it typed out that.
Have your car, mate? I don't know about that. You know what I mean? So like that whole like accidentally liking things. I mean, it's
accidentally
possible
on purpose,
but I don't know. But like you said, if it happens several times,
yeah. I mean, the accidental liking, I've done that before. I'll be honest. I have, like when you're scrolling, you might hit the heart because you're on that side of the screen. Like I have done that before,
but not on a situation. Not in a situation where it refers to him or things that happened in the game. That's a bit,
because the thing is though, what you know about Garnacho, which we can definitely sort of see, is that he's
a young guy. He knows how to work social media.
And he's always on it. He's doing his gaming, his brother, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's the sort of kid who, Garnacho, as we saw how rattled he was when he got a little bit of, heat and stuff like that. He's the sort of kid who will, after a game, whether he's done good or bad, he will type his name in and find out what people are saying. I think all the time.
You all accidentally like stuff because of flecknology, yeah? Flecknology.
Because my hands are too big.
He's a young guy. I'm not necessarily buying that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. Right, I was getting on to Dan Ashworth then and the lack of replacements for him.
Yes, this is a bit of an interesting one. It's kind of what we were talking about previously. But Sammy Watpole from the Daily Mirror was saying, Daily Mail rather, was saying Manchester United will not target a like-for-like replacement for Dan Ashworth, but are not ruling out making another executive appointment following his exit. Omar Barada and Jason Wilcox will split the majority of Ashworth's responsibilities as part of a reshaping of each's individual hierarchical responsibilities. Christopher Vavell will continue to lead recruitment work and be assisted by Matt Hargreaves. Any new appointment would also have a firm grasp of the transfer market to work alongside Vavell. Now, what was quite interesting was this, as the fallout continues from all of this Dan Ashworth stuff yesterday, Flex. Lots of people talking about the information that they've got. The general consensus is Sir Jim just basically weren't having Dan Ashworth at all. And actually, they felt like, and this is kind of what we were talking about previously too, is that Omar Barada had almost started doing some of his responsibilities anyway, particularly post Eric Ten Hag and in the search for Ruben Amorim and all that kind of stuff. Because it was, and this was really curious. I saw that the Muppeteers talking about this and some others, essentially saying that when the decision was made to sack Eric Ten Hag, Dan Ashworth didn't really have, according to these reports anyway, much of a response almost for it. You know what I mean? Wasn't really sure what to do. And Sir Jim didn't like that. And it was very much, Ruben Amorim wasn't necessarily the unanimous pick from every single person across the table, but he was Omar Barada's big choice. And Omar Barada was like, I'm going to go get him. And he went and got him. So, yeah, I think maybe this is just like those reports were saying about too many cooks in the kitchen. They're just removing a cook and spreading around the responsibility. As the report says, they might bring someone in to maybe assist in transfer strategy or what have you. But it looks like the key decision makers at the moment are going to be Omar Barada, Jason Wilcox. So Dave Brailsford's got doing more, I think, than we thought. And Sir Jim is more involved, I think, on a football basis than we thought. And by all accounts, that did change basically because he wasn't happy with what he was seeing.
Now I'll be honest, because I don't want to go back to just moaning about the thing, and I'm just gonna leave them alone now and see what they do. Honestly, I know that sounds really basic or salty or childish or whatever, but in the interest of like, okay, they've done the F up, they've owned it, they've corrected it or they've removed it, and they're either working out whether they need somebody else to come in and change it or add to it, or whether they can soak up the workload. Cool. I'm now looking, because I already said I'm looking at side eye anyway. The confidence for me took a dent. So all I can do now is allow them the chance to rebuild it in the interest of fairness. It is early on. And the more I did think about it, Clear Lake and Todd Bowley are a really good example, actually, because they made a lot of errors or a lot of scattergun approaches, a lot of, poor management. And yes, they wasted a lot of money. Again, like you said yesterday, Owen's a really good point. There isn't like one blueprint to say you should do this or you should do that. But in the interest of like the beginning of something massive, there can be some really shit decisions where you read about it in a book and say, oh, at the beginning of the Sidirak Ratcliffe era, the first 5 appointments were terrible and then they did this. No, the story goes on. And there's no point me continually moaning about it. I've made my point that my faith in them has taken a dent because of what they've done and of the wrong decisions they've made early on. And now I'm just looking in as a fan going, how are you going to fix this? How are you going to fix this? When we get to January, what happens? When we get to the summer, more importantly, what happens? What are your other decisions like? Let's see, because right now it's taking a dent, and I will accept this. I will admit this. Obviously, we don't know enough about the roles and responsibility for me to sit here and go, well, Omar Barada definitely can't be doing that. And Jay, I don't know. They've put this structure in. They said they got faith in it. It's a new structure. It started off not great. Let's see. Where are we? 11th of December. So let me just let it cook.
Well, and also, it does go to show that we don't know a lot of the time what's going on, because whilst we thought everything was hunky-dory, there wasn't. You know what I mean? Dan Ashworth was like, it's always funny, these things, when they get reported after the fact, isn't it? Like, so he goes, and then suddenly all the reports are, well, things haven't been good for a while behind the scenes at Manchester United. And you go, well, no one was saying that. No one was reporting that at all. No one was saying that was the case, that things weren't good behind the scenes at Manchester United. It's easy to say once he's been sacked. So who knows what's going on at the moment? Who knows what's going on right now, right? Things still might be chaotic behind the scenes. Things might be that actually they go, I tell you what, now that he's gone, good. Actually, we can focus now, and we're a bit more streamlined. It was a bit too complicated. They tried to do too much too quickly. Things will be better. But no, and like you're right in the sense of we're just gonna have to wait and see, won't we? We have to wait and see. Yeah, indeed.
I have to say, guys, the slander on the M4 Fizzy M410 core, Owen, I need you to clarify the situation, because this is not the M4 Fizzy. This is not that.
It's not the M4 Fizzy. For some reason, last couple of days, we're not sure why Flex just keeps getting blurry. But we will figure it out.
Yes, it's not internet.
That is the case.
It's not the M4.
Well, you say it's not internet, but then a second ago, your bars were yellow as opposed to green. So I don't know.
Well, it's the
like
same.
Now they're orange.
150 meg.
Now they're orange bars.
Don't know. Since don't know. Maybe since traveling to just a different machine. It's just a few things happening.
My bars are green.
Yeah, I don't know. Where's the green bit there? Oh, that 250. Yeah, that triangle bit.
Right, it's on my screen. On my screen.
Oh, right, okay. Interesting. But it is not the M4 Fizzy. It is not fake. It is not fake. It's the real deal. I promise you. Super chats. Nuruddin says, we will be patient with Man United players. It's time to move on. We'll be patient with Man United players. It's time to move on. What, you will? What do you mean? You will be patient, but it's time to move on. I don't know what you mean, Nuruddin. Do you mean you're willing to be patient, or you mean you want them gone? Let me know, bro. Let me know. Been a member for 3 months as well. Big up to you. Ellen says 24 hours and no drama. Gets boring to be a fan now. No, it doesn't.
Drama.
Good.
There's always drama.
Yeah, well, as a presser today, fucking probably learn of some new injury or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
They were like, how? When did he get injured? How did that happen? Show says, lost a little confidence in INEOS after summer transfer window. Incomings were poor and massively overhyped. Only Yoro and Mazraoui are good signings. Is that true, Owen? Is that true, chat?
What? Lost confidence?
Actually, the window's actually not that good. It's only Yoro and Mazraoui that were good signings. Is that true?
So who did we sign in the sub? We signed De Ligt, Mazraoui. I like Ugarte. I do think but this is, we always do this. He from day dot, he was, before we even signed him, he was overhyped in the sense of we're always looking for, right? It's a bit like KG's he's the answer, or they're the answers to this, or they're the answer to that. There isn't one specific answer. Like, one player will never be a specific answer. You know what I mean? So from the moment that we were linked to Ugarte, it was like, he is going to be overhyped, and he's going to do this, he's going to do that. And he's a good player. But I always go back to, I remember doing I think it was the morning show, the day we played Fenerbahce, and I was getting a lot of comments at the time. Ugarte is going to be one of the worst signings Manchester United has ever made. And at that point, Flex, he had maybe started one game first and come on a couple of times a sub. You know what I mean? And it was like, but then again, because we do this, because they can never live up to those expectations that we put on them. So I think Ugarte's I think Ugarte's a good player. De Ligt an interesting one, isn't it? Because
it is interesting.
Because like 2 weeks ago he's really good, and now 2 weeks later he's really shit. And I think that
we need to find a middle point there.
Yeah, I'm not sure the full conclusions there with him, because sometimes he has good games. We go, that's all right, and then sometimes he looks quite out of place, and we go.
I think with De Ligt, I appreciate, like, he's a competent defender, but he does have limitations. He's not. Again, I just think we shouldn't gas up like the attributes and the individual. Like, we've done it with Leacher before. You know, we've done it a little bit with De Ligt, saying it's going to be this, it's going to be, and I'm talking about me as well. I've learned now. I'm like, actually, no, like a top draw centre half. I know what I'm looking for now, and it's that really quick, powerful, in control of everything. But the biggest thing for me is, can you be left on your own on an island to defend properly? Like,
I think it is. You know,
do you know what I mean? And he can't.
You do look at these teams that are really, I suppose, competing for the Premier League. And you look at, say, Arsenal.
That's the benchmark.
You look at Arsenal and you watch, say, Saliba play, you go, okay, now, you know, no one's really going to get past him. You look at Liverpool and still, you go, Virgil van Dijk, you go, people are getting really past them. And they got good combinations in terms of, they got Van Dijk and Kanai, and you go, that's a really good combination. We got Saliba and Gabriel, you go, that's a really good combination there. And that's nothing new, because he's specific. You know, you go Village Ferdinand, you go, no one's getting past them.
That's what you're meant to have.
And it doesn't feel like with that current setup that you can kind of say that. It maybe felt a bit closer to it a couple of years ago. You go, right, Varane, Martinez, right, tell you what, if they're both playing regularly, can't really get past it. That's not too bad. Problem is, they both weren't available that often.
Yeah, and there was no real longevity
that often. So then, like I said, there's no longevity. There's every big team that does compete has that like world-class centre back that you got to tell you what, on their day, no one can get past them. Like, no one. And that day happens quite regularly.
And even that physicality, like I say, like Tottenham are woeful and stuff, but like, if obviously Van der Ven's, you know, he's always injured, but like in his, you know, if you got him for 17 million like they did, I think, something like, you'd look at him, you go, he's big, he's quick.
But even then, I'd be like, with those ones, they're not like, okay, Van de Ven's really good and he's really fast.
Yeah,
and
not Romero.
But it's not like I said, when you look at like Van Dijk
The
or
levels,
Saliba,
the
you just
levels,
go like,
the levels.
they make really difficult situations look comfortable.
100, and not everyone can be a Konate. Like I get, like not everyone can be a Saliba. Like, but that's why I was saying in the summer, I need that young up and come. I know I specifically said the French league, and we ended up getting that, but like just that athletic, powerful, can play, can understand the game, and can look after themselves. Because the lack of sheer physicality and mobility that we have in this team is so alarming. It's so alarming, and it starts from the back. Lisandro, he looks like he's more physical than he is because he's small and like tries to rat at people and do the aggressive thing and roll the sleeves up and do the butcher thing. It looks like he's more aggressive and physical than he actually is, in my opinion.
Flex, there's slander in the chat. Man of the people, ironically, says, sorry, eating on show is wrong.
Wow. 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 Okay.
Eating on show is wrong. It's just wrong, Flex. Wrong. How could you? How could you? You know what really tickled me about it? The reason why that made me laugh wasn't necessarily because of the comment. It's because of the name of the account that said it as well. Man of the people. Man of the people. Don't eat.
Man of the people. Make sure you're malnourished. Keep giving me this content and be depleted of your minerals.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Oh, I'm just going to watch the show this morning. They're eating. Fuck this. I can't watch other people eat. Oh, God.
And I've got my etiquette as well.
Bit of watermelon, isn't it?
Like I say, you got mute, so you're not chomping in people's ears on trains. That's, I agree with that, but bloody hell. Point noted that I will not listen to and continue to do what I want to do, though, man. Of the people. Big up to you. Big up to you. Just trying to stay hydrated, Instead of going, wrong. Their schedule's probably really, really busy. The fact that keep giving us this content, even chucking in their food on the go because they've probably got now I've got to leave straight away, talk sports, this, that, and it. But no, man of the people says no, you must not. No. You must be malnourished instead.
Yeah, God, bloody hell. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. But yes, back to the centre backs. Yeah, it is what it is. We ain't got it. And that's just how it is. Lenny Yoro is interesting because he's quick. He's still slight though, isn't he? He's not. He's not massive. I don't know if he's gonna dominate in the air in this league as well.
Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But he's gonna play in a 3, and on the right as a 3, he'll probably be perfect for that. But the other 2, we need some more physicality and some pace and some power in there. And some dominance in there, some athletes. We really, really do. And at wing back, we absolutely need that as well. We need it throughout the team. We really do. Right, let's get to the rest of the super chats. Actually, before we do that, we've got nearly 1,600 people watching, and we're just about to get to 400 likes.
What did you eat, Flex? Which is wrong. That's why the likes aren't high. That's why the likes aren't there.
Yeah, do not do it. We got 1,600, so we want to get to 500, so we're just about to get to 400. And actually, with 1,600 people watching, pretty much, we could do the 750. We could do the 750, but let's just get the 500 likes. Yeah, there you go. We're at 400 on the dot now, so keep working on that, guys. The Forest defender who scored against us looks really good. Yeah, Milenkovic. That's what I mean. Like just powerful guys, big guys. Big guys. Lost the little cut on. I read that one already. And Lelanolo says, "Flex so much. How much did Timu charge for the M4?" Listen,
it's not the M4. It's not the M4.
It's not, guys.
It's not. I can vouch for Flex on that one. It's not.
Owen, let them hate. As long as you know in your heart what the problem is, you don't need to prove it to anyone.
Let them hate. You just got scolded for eating, Flex.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Let them malnourish me. As long as I've got the nutrients in my body, it doesn't matter what man of the people says, because
tomorrow
the minerals of the watermelon is going into my body.
Tomorrow, Flex is going to be doing the show on a drip.
Yeah. Dr. Andre. Dr. Andre, line me up. Dr. Andre. Bloody hell. Yes. Super Arch says we always target overhyped players, Bramthwaite, etc. And we need to do that. We need to make sure we don't just overhype people and make sure that they are, as good as we think they're going to be, i.e. our recruitment. Leading on to our recruitment, actually, good segue. Apparently, We're trying to get a 17-year-old left back.
Well, this is something that you've always wanted, Flex. You know, you say, go out there, find the gems, find the gems.
Yes,
And maybe that's what Manchester United are trying to do right now. So, in fairness, this was a story that did break last night from journalists out in South America, and then it got picked up by Ben Jacobs, and then this morning it got picked up by Fabrizio Romano. So there's been a lot of sort of confirmation parts of this. But Fabrizio Romano said Manchester United are in active talks with Sierra Porteno for 17-year-old left back Diego Leon as a talent of the future, Flex. Similar to Sekou Kone deal last summer, Manchester United keep looking at talents from abroad, and a $4 million deal is being discussed also with Leon's agents. So could be a young player that's coming in to add to the likes of, as Fabrizio mentioned, Sekou Kone, Obi Martin, and others. There was a guy from Palace, I think we also got. This is the kind of things that, this is what I was kind of talking about earlier, Flex. You know, we got to be careful what we wish for. We ask for it. You know, we say, go find these, you know, young players from South America, from Europe, from wherever, bring them in and see if they can become great players. So certainly what we can't do is when we do that, go, well, we don't care. You know, we need now. We need them now. This could be a very exciting signing for Manchester United, could it not? And it could be something that in 18 months' time, we go, oh, bloody hell, they're playing, they're involved. A bit like Kone, who they're sort of saying by this time next year, they want him to be training with the first team, you know, quite regularly.
Of course, it's the beginning. It seems like the beginning stages of potentially getting exactly that. That's what we want. And we can't judge it yet. We have to wait and see if these guys do, first of all, come here. Well, the other kids have, and what their pathway is like. And do they start training with the first team, get appearances, starts on tour, then, you know, you go from there. So yeah, I want to see that. That is bread and butter, basics. It's for far too long. It hasn't happened. Like I said, how are Brighton always able to go to South America or wherever they're going to, and unearth these gems? You know, you look at someone like Caicedo. Just look, and you know, we all know the story of Caicedo, of Man United basically having sort of dibs on it and saying no, and Ollie saying, "Oh, go and get him." Then it went to 4 million, and we still said no. You know, and look, and just look. It's ridiculous. And they've got, you know, many options of that. So I like it. I want to see that, but I'm not gonna overpraise it. We're meant to be doing that. You know, when some of those who've been doing, say, Man United scouting network is fucking one of the biggest in the world. Like, it's ridiculous.
They just don't
don't do anything with it. And also, when Ollie was sort of lifting the lid on a lot of stuff, there's a lot of procrastinating, even with the Haaland thing. You know, Ollie's identified this kid from Moldo is going to cost peanuts. You know what I mean? Then
there was a lot of penny pinching, wasn't there? Basically being like, pinching. You know, of going, which was the one, I think he plays for Liverpool now, and he was, is that like Real Betis or something like that? And it was, there was one of some player when it was like, we could get him. It's the one where but his dad worked for the club, and we were like, no, don't.
Oh, by Cetic.
And we, you know what I mean? And stories like that where basically United was just trying to save like 500k or 250k, which in the grand scheme of things, like you said, if they become a 50, 60, 70 million pound player, who cares? Like, who cares?
Yeah.
Surely, and if they're good enough, and if they've got the talent that you believe in, not that price shouldn't be an issue, but it should be a case of, well, you go get him. And that goes back to, I suppose, once again, you know, mismanagement financially from a point to Manchester United, because they're having to consider that when they shouldn't have to consider that. It should be back in the day, you know, and with our revenue streams, go get a young player, you know, and come into Manchester United. But players have avoided coming to us, young players, because they're not sure about their pathway into the first team. We mess them around in sort of these kind of periods where there's a lot of football clubs out there, and they've got a lot of options, you know. Sometimes we do have that kind of, I guess, entitlement to be like, oh, we'll just come knocking and we'll go get them. Don't always work like that. So you have to be proactive. You have to have your people out there. And to be fair, we talked about the summer window. By all accounts, people like Christopher Vival, who are going to be very involved in January, they've been quite, you know, spearheading those kind of signings, haven't they? Or trying to get Sekou Kone, or trying to get Obi Martin from Arsenal or what have you. So that's good. And like you said, it's what clubs should be doing. And maybe we sort of get excited about it because we don't do it. But that's what it should be. And the interesting part of it as well is, and I don't know how this kind of works. Someone will probably let me know in the chat. I don't know if you know this, Flex. What's kind of like the age? Like if you bring them in and then they go through your academy, they're still a homegrown player. Like what's the cutoff point for that? because he's a bit like, like Garnacho's a homegrown player, but we got him at like,
because we brought him in.
something like that.
I think it could be. I'm not exact. I don't want to misquote. So I'm not exactly sure, but I do think it's around that age of the sort of 15, 16. Because obviously, if you have them from like 7 all the way through, but you can go and buy from other academies as long as they're not over maybe 16 or 15, and then it classes as your own.
Or is it even below 8? If it's just like below 18, so like could we get him and he's a homegrown player?
Homegrown, you know what I mean? Maybe,
because people kind of pointing out that there are very rare cases of a homegrown player. You know what I mean? Like, yes, there are people that
like Rashford, who made it through to the and Scott McTominay, or
from
Jesse Lingard, or
that come all the way through.
Saka.
But a lot of clubs, the sort of homegrown players, they're like, well, they were there at like 14. You know what I mean? A bit like when did Ryan Giggs come through to United's academy? Was it like 14 or something like that?
About that. When did City for?
I think he's at like City, and same with like Beckham. I think he came in a bit younger. But like, a lot of these young players have been other places. You know what I mean? And you get him in.
Well, you look at it's what happens. You look at someone like I don't know, like Sancho. Sancho was at Watford, then he went into City's academy, and then became sort of there. When Watford kind of lose all the credit, but like for a large period he was at City before he went on to make his senior debut for Dortmund, or well, he probably made it at City, but didn't get enough, and then went Dortmund. But someone like Phil Foden, it's through and through. Like you've been here since you were. I mean, Mason Mount is Cobham.
Chelsea,
like, Trevor Chalobah is Cobham. Reece James is Cobham. These types of players like that. They've come through. Tammy Abraham, these types of guys, they've been at the clubs. But
then you get like
Madueke was at Spurs, wasn't he? But
then you get like a Declan Rice. He was at Chelsea for a while, but then he's at
West
Ham,
and
he's a West Ham homegrown player.
Because you know what? I think. Do you know what it might be? It might be if you, and I could be wrong, if you make a certain amount of appearances for the under whatever team, the under 19s or the under 23 team or whatever, the under 21s. Maybe that probably counts towards it as well. I don't know.
Like I said, I don't know what the cutoff point is, but when people talk about, what does that mean for academy players? Well, they might technically be academy players. You know what I mean? Like that's also just another part of academy football, isn't it? Of going like everyone there isn't like just they're from the local area and they've just come through. It's not always the case. You've got people that are like, oh no, they were at Fulham for a while and they came here. Or if anyone's ever been, to be fair, in the academy system, all the time, like you hear things about like people from where I was from, for Oxford, where we go, I tell you what, Villa are sniffing around them, or Fulham are sniffing around them, or particularly in that area is Southampton and Reading, they're sniffing around them. You know what I mean? So
you get to know about it.
People are always looking for those young talents.
Well, and one thing about Diego Leon, just from a quick look on Transfer Market, just to get a look at what's going on. I mean, he's playing in the Paraguay First League, Premier Division, and he has made 19 appearances. So at 17 playing, at least he's playing competitive football. He's playing men's football already. That's a plus, because a lot of 17, so basically compare him already to Harry Amas. Harry Amas is not playing men's football, hasn't experienced men's football apart from on tour, and is in the under 21s every week. If you're looking at Chido, obviously I think he's even younger, and he's in like 16, 17. Like he's really young. But again, they haven't experienced men's football. So one thing that could go in the favor of this Diego Leon kid, if we get him, is that he's experiencing men's football. He's at it. Then you see what sort of level he's at. He comes into the under 21.
Excited because he's a left wing back as well, and that's something we
need. And we can't.
I don't think he's going to come in and then he's going to be like, you know what I mean? He's going to be playing immediately. I think that's maybe where people may be getting a little bit carried away, because it's like, that's exactly what we need. And you go, well, I don't.
And I'm looking at clips of him. I'm looking at clips of him. I'm doing the KG where you do the live scouting. I'm looking at him for 17. He's solid. He's big. And he's physical, he's quick. But again, the Paraguay League is not going to be the judge of Broma. But like I say, I will say this. When you look at someone's comps and all it is like youth football and no one's watching. So you go, okay, well, at least he's playing in a professional league in big stadiums and he's going past men. I'm looking at it. But so that you think you've got more to work with from the start. If you've played men's football, that helps. But that transpiring into being good enough to play in the Premier League for Man United.
And also, someone mentions it in the chat there, and it's very true. Harry Mass was from Watford, wasn't he? You know what I mean, as well. So as much as the
was he? I didn't know that.
The academy, you know, we're always picking up people from other places.
It's what
I will also say,
all the
Flex, we got 9 likes away from 500, and we've got over 1,600 people watching. So we can do this. If we haven't already, click the like button. Let's see if we can get to 500 and 750. Yeah, anything's possible, Flex. Yeah, and if not, and if that doesn't happen,
you better watch out because we are come for you.
Yeah, I nearly added another one. There's another one I want to add in, where he's sitting there, Chris Eubank, and he's going, shameful.
What did they ask him? In what context?
I don't know. He just literally sits there, he just goes, shameful. And I thought, that's good. That's got
guys, I promise you, if I ever get the opportunity to bring Chris Eubank onto this channel for no reason, don't know about no football, nothing. Just if I ever get the opportunity, please know when that day comes, it will be nothing to do with Man United, but it could happen.
Because an hour of poetry, something like that.
Oh, he's brilliant. He was speaking at an event, like I said, at the UK Black Business Week that I was speaking at as well a couple months or so back. Just what a guy. And if you haven't seen the Four Kings as well, by the way, boxing documentary is really good. Have you seen it, Owen?
I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, check it out actually, because you're a big Eubank fan. Actually, it's on. I think it's on Amazon. Check it out. The Four Kings. It's him, Lennox Lewis, Frank Bruno, and Nigel Benn. Sorry, Nigel Benn. Yeah, because obviously their rivalry. So Frank Bruno and Lennox's rivalry is the two heavyweights back then, and obviously the rivalry with Ben Eubank as well. It's a really good documentary. Right, the last thing, there was something. Oh yes, that's it. Obviously, we will have the preview coming out for the game tomorrow. That's coming up very, very soon. But just really quickly, Victoria Plzeň. It's we are. Where are we in that thing? I saw it yesterday. Basically, we've got 3 games left, and we need to get a move on.
We're in the.
We are in the playoff bit though.
The end screen went up for a second there, Flex. I don't know why.
Oh, see, there's gremlins in the system. I'm telling you.
I'm not sure what happened.
I'm telling you.
The end screen went. That was my fault. That was my fault.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah,
we're 12th. We're 12th.
I've got 2 keyboards in front of me, and I pressed the wrong button.
Press the wrong
keyboard. I pressed the wrong keyboard. Yeah.
Wrong machine, mate.
It was.
We are currently.
Best thing was his Flex was carrying like he didn't even know. He didn't even know
because I couldn't see. I was on a different tab because I can open tabs now. So I'm on a different tab. I've got about 15 tabs open, so you know, you wouldn't realize I've got 15 tabs open, obviously because of the M4. But yeah, I was on a different tab. We are currently 12th in the Europa League, and we're on 9 points. So look, we've got 3 games left against is it FCB? Obviously tomorrow, FCSB. Tomorrow's game against Plzeň, and obviously Rangers at home as well. So 2 away, 1 home. Needs to just make sure we win them, basically. Of course, it's about getting in that top 24. But if we're being honest, with the amount of, and this is important, we need to get in that top 8. We need to get in the top 8. We need to be going straight through. We shouldn't be coming outside of that top 8, whereby we then need to play an extra round of games. Because that's a home and away tie, I believe, to get through to the next round to get to the knockouts. And we're already saying we've got limited time. We're already saying we need more time on a training pitch. Get it done. Get it done. Do not be finishing in that 9 to 24 where you then have to play an extra round against bloody. And if we'll be honest, it could be you could be playing against Midtjylland home and away to get through to the. It would just be silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just and also with us, you never know. You know, we got no guarantee we'd actually go through.
But also, Owen, just quickly, like Fenerbahce are 15th. Obviously, there's 3 games left, so this could really change. But you could play someone quite difficult over 2 legs, someone that you could have got in the round of 16. So imagine we had to go to Roma home and away, or Porto home and away. We saw what happened when we played against Porto and Fenerbahce. Yeah. Olympiacos home and away. Real Sociedad, Besiktas. These are not teams where, obviously, yes, you were on paper, but this version of United, we know what we're like. So we need to avoid all of that crap. In the top 8 currently is that Bilbao, Eintracht Frankfurt, Galatasaray, Anderlecht, Ajax, Lyon, Rangers.
And that man as well. That's where we're at in the sense of we're going to tell you what we really need to avoid going away to home and away. But that's where we are. You got to be real. You got to be real. You got to be real.
That's where we are. Yeah, exactly. We've got to be real. So yes, but we'll have more detail on that in the preview. So make sure you check that out. Big show. Where are we? Have I got all the transfer? Have I got all the super chats out? Yes, I have. And like you lot did 564, which I'm sure you can get us to 600 on the way out. I know you can. In fact, I know you can. So big up to each and every single one of you. Smash the like on the video. Preview coming, and there will be a presser today as well. But I don't know if we'll cover just the presser. Being embargoed as well for some. Actually, no, it's not embargoed. It's been the whole thing. But before they fly out, they'll probably do a presser today. But we'll see what
it depends, doesn't it? Sometimes it's before, and sometimes they fly out there and do it. You know what I mean? It depends.
Yeah. Oh, actually, no. They probably no.
Sometimes they do it out there.
Like, I've been there. No, the last couple of times when I've been there, they've flown out and done it, haven't they? Sorry, they train. They train. They
do the open training bit. Fly out there, and then they literally land. Go to the presser. They're always late. They will whatever time it's meant to be, it will not be that.
It was,
but
this is the first away one under Amorim, though, so he might want it different. Because obviously the first Europa League game was at home against Bodo Glimt, so he did the presser at Carrington the day before, which is usual. But the away one, maybe he might want it. I don't
get it all out the way.
He might want because he doesn't like the media. So yeah. All right, peeps, smash a like on the video. We'll keep you posted regardless. Anyway, we are out of here. Take care. Good morning. Goodbye. Peace.
And this is the right end card this time. Yes.